All right, hello Trig Pre-Calc. Today we're going to do the B part of yesterday's section. So we're still working our way towards finding all the real zeros. Remember, yesterday we focused on the skills, synthetic division, and long division. Today we're going to try to be putting all of that together and finding all of the zeros. This is for when your polynomials do not factor. But as always, let's practice factoring. So lead coefficient 2, I'm going to multiply these outside two numbers. I'm going to figure out what multiplies to negative 10 and adds to negative 9. And then, of course, I'm going to divide each of those by the lead coefficient. Negative 10 over 2, a little mental math here. And, of course, our denominator is going to go in front of the variable. All right, B, of course, this is pretty common, are perfect squares. X plus 1, x minus 1. And last but not C, multiply to 7, add to negative 8, negative 7, negative 1. So just a quick factoring review. All right, so today, of course, I'm also going to show you what's called the rational zero test. Sounds fancy. It's to help us get some possible zeros. Notice it says possible. We're not actually finding the zeros. We're going to be making a list of some potential zeros. And then, of course, we're going to be doing some more complete factorization, kind of like we did yesterday. So rational zero test, we use it to find the possible zeros of the function. So to do that, of course, notice they all have the plus or minus on them in the front. Now, factors of the constant term. The constant term, of course, is the term that has no variable on it. So just the number at the very end. So you're going to find all the factors of that, all the numbers that divide into it. And then you're going to do the same thing, but for the lead coefficient. And then, of course, you're going to divide those possibilities. So here we go. Verify the given factors of the function, find the remaining factors, and, of course, we're going to write the complete factorization. So, before we get to this rational zero test, which we will in a minute, so if this is our factor, we know it divides evenly into it. So I can use synthetic division. I'm going to find the zero first. So that's going to be my divisor. I'm going to line up our coefficients, make sure that you have them all in the correct order. You don't need any zero placeholders. Now, since it is a factor, remember the remainder better be 0 or something went awry here. Negative 3 times 3. Remember, we add these rows. Negative 3 times negative 7, add negative 3 times 2. And we're going to recover our polynomial. This is going to be 3x. Remember, you're always down 1 in power from the highest degree, so squared. And here we go. It says find, of course, use your results to write the complete factorization. So let's do that. I'm going to factor this. 3 times 2, multiply to 6, add to negative 7. And then, of course, we're going to divide by 3. So negative 6 over 3, negative 2. And then I'm going to put my denominator in front of the variable. Now, as always, just like yesterday, don't forget your given factor. It's a third degree. We need all 3. So here's my complete factorization. And then it wants all the zeros. Okay, one piece of cake, we can do that. If we set all these factors to 0, we would get 2, 1 over 3, and of course negative 3. So just read your directions closely. Sometimes it might ask for the 0, sometimes it wants the factor, sometimes it wants all of it. All right, next up, your factor, 2x minus 1. So again, let's get the 0. We can do our synthetic division on this. I'm going to add 1, divide by 2. Remember, for synthetic division, your divisor has to be a binomial, which we have, degree of 1. Okay, double check, of course, order. Everything's in the correct order, and we're not missing any terms. It looks good. Let's jot down our coefficients. And remember, we should get a 0 remainder. All right, half of 2, that comes out nice, of course. Add that up. Half of 0, add it. Half of negative 10, got it. All right, looking good with our 0 remainder. Let's recover this. We have 2x squared. I'm not going to write 0x. And then, of course, it wants the complete factorization. Well, this is going to be a little tough to factor. I could take a 2 out. But then what am I going to do with x squared minus 5? It is a third degree, so I do need 3 total factors. So here's my pro tip for you. I'm going to find the zeros. I'm going to take x squared minus 5 and set it to 0. Let's add 5. And of course, get rid of the square root with our squaring. So I do have all of the zeros listed, all 3 answers, 1/2, plus or minus root 5. Now I'm going to use those, of course, and kind of backtrack, so to speak, and do my factoring. So I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to leave the 2, but x squared minus 5, x plus root 5, x minus root 5. I'm using the zeros. And if you FOIL this out, you will have x squared, the middles cancel, square root of 5 is a 5. And as always, let's not forget our original given factor. Let's sneak it in, and I've got all 3. So sometimes it's helpful to find the zeros and then kind of work your way backwards and list all of the factors. Okay, now we're on to this rational zero test. I have a love-hate with this. It's going to list all the possible zeros. Well, generally we like to actually find the zeros. So this is going to give us a list of potential zeros, not what the actual zeros are. So let's make the list and let's talk about the y here in a minute. So remember, it's all the factors of the constant term. So I'm looking at 2. I like that it's prime and small. So my constant term is 2. The factors of 2, of course, 1 and 2. That's all it is. Let's do lead coefficient 4. So lead coefficient. So I'm thinking about all the numbers that go into 4. 1 does, 2, 4. Now, to get my actual possible zeros, they all have plus or minus on them. So I'm just going to put plus or minus out front here. And it's all the factors of the constant term over all the factors of the lead coefficient. So it's all of my green numbers over the purple numbers. And of course, I want to kind of separate those out and give all the distinct answers. So I'm doing my green numbers. So I'm going to do 1 over 1, 1 over 2, 1 over 4. Well, 1 over 1, 1 over 2, 1 over 4. And now, of course, I'm going to do 2 over 1, 2 over 2, 2 over 4, 2 over 1. 2 over 2 is 1. We already have it listed. I'm not going to put it again. And 2 over 4 is a half. We already have it. Not going to put it. Now, here's our possible zeros. Notice they all have plus or minus on them. So you technically have 8 possible zeros. It's only a 5th degree polynomial. Now, here is why we do this. Back in the olden days, aka when I was in high school, you would have to hopefully guess, be a good guesser. You would pick a number off of your list, like, oh, let's say 2, do your synthetic division, pray you got a 0 remainder. If you didn't, you would then scribble off the 2, and you would pick a different number off your list. Do synthetic until you got a 0 remainder. Well, with graphing calculators, this is a little bit on the obsolete side, but it is good to know how to get a possible list of zeros so you could do it if, God forbid, something ever happened to your calculator. Okay, so here we go. Now, to find the zeros, we just talked about it. I'm going to graph it and use the 0 feature of my calculator. Remember, that's in your trace menu. We'll get an exact answer, and then, of course, use our synthetic division. From there, we're going to create factors. We could use quadratic formula. I didn't list it on here, but of course you could also do completing the square if that's your pickup, if you want to pick that to get your other solutions, your exact solutions. So of course I always try factoring first. That's always the easiest one. That's what we have been doing. But of course we're talking about what happens if they do not factor, or you don't see the factoring. Always other ways to do it. Okay, find all the real zeros of the polynomial. So you can see I have the graph over there on the right-hand side. So right away I'm thinking about, okay, 3rd degree, I should have 3 answers, but I see it's only hitting right here at 1 point. So there's going to be only 1 real answer. The other 2 would be imaginary. Now, how do we want to solve this? Choices. So I could try factoring. I happen to be good at factoring. So 4 terms, I'm going to split it in the middle. Let's see if this works out for me. I can take a GCF at 2x squared off the front 2 terms. 1 off the back. Oh, looking good. We have those matching set of parentheses. So really think of those matching set of parentheses as your next GCF. And then we're left with our 2x squared and our 1. So of course, if I solve this, I'm going to add 2, divide by 3. So that looks about 2/3 over here on the graph. Now, this factor, of course, is going to give you imaginary answers because we only touch the graph once. Now, if you were good with your calculator, let's pull this up. You could have maybe saved yourself a little bit of work. So let's type this guy in. Let me clear out all of this stuff here. So 6x cubed minus 4x squared plus 3x minus 2. Plus, I want to review with you how to use that zero feature in your calculator. Let's hit graph. Don't forget, if your window's ever off, hit zoom 6, puts you on the standard window. I'm going to do second trace, and we want the 0. So I'm going to cursor him a little closer over to where it's hitting the x-axis good enough. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to right arrow, keep cursing until it's above, enter, enter. And lo and behold, there we go, 0.6 repeating is 2/3. So I could have gotten my answer right off my calculator if you recognize 0.6 repeating as 2/3, and I could have had 0 work. That's how good you are at fractions, my friends. All right, let's look at the next one. So 4th degree, I'm like, ooh, yeah, it's hitting in all 4 spots here. We look like we have a couple whole nice numbers, so I like that. We look like we have some fractions or decimals, and remember, we always want exact answers. Now I'm looking at that, I could factor an x out. I don't think grouping's gonna work with us or help us with this one, so let's go ahead and graph this one on the calculator and get a nice 0. So again, y equals, clear it out and just start typing it in. 4x to the 4th. What do we got? Minus 11x cubed. Minus 22x squared. And plus 8x. Okay, got it. You think this is slow, kids? You should see how slow I text. Okay, so there's the graph. I'm looking at it, and it looks like it hits at 4 at a nice number. Maybe it's 0. And again, I'm just going to check the table instead of going through all that 0 stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, there we go. 4, 0, 0, 0. Now, I'm going to start with the 4, and I'm going to list those 2 answers really quick over here on the side. The other 2 look like decimals, and we need exact answers. Well, I'm going to start with the 4. Seems a little easier to work with. All my terms are here. They're in the correct order. Now, remember, no number at the back, so you really have 0 holding the place. Don't forget your placeholder. Do your synthetic division. We should get a 0 remainder. 4 times 4. Negative 11 plus 16. 4 times 5. Add it up. 4 times negative 2. Add it. 4 times 0, 0, 0. Okay, so let's recover this. I've got 4x cubed. So I know that there are 3 additional answers in that polynomial. I'm going to set it to 0, and let's see what we can do for solving. Now they all have an x in it. I'm going to factor an x out, because you're trying to get it down ultimately to a quadratic, something with squared in it. And clearly, x equals 0. There's this guy right here. So I'm going to get the other 2 exact answers out of that 4x squared plus 5x minus 2. Now up to you how you want to solve that. It doesn't factor. You could complete the square, use quadratic formula. If you complete the square, you gotta divide by 4, and I think that's going to be a lot of fractions. Let's just go quadratic formula. Opposite of b, square root, b squared 25 minus 4 times a times c, all over 2a, 2 times 4. All right, of course I punched in my calculator, 25 minus 4 times negative 2, and I got 57, which does not simplify. We do have all, let me jot these out, all 4 answers. 4, 0, negative 5 plus or minus square root of 57 all over 8. Could have you done your synthetic division with 0 to begin with? Yes, it just seems weird to divide by 0. That's why I picked the 4. But you will get the same answer. All right, last problem of the day. Here we go. Use the 0 or root feature in your graphing utility to approximate to 3 decimal the zeros of the function. Determine an exact and use synthetic division. Okay, so we can see over here, looks like this is probably our exact one. I'm guessing that's at 6. We'll take a look. And then we can see we have those other 2 decimal ones. So again, let's go ahead, punch that in our calculator. Y equals, let's clear this out. So x cubed minus 12x squared plus, and then minus 24. Hit graph. So I'm just gonna first check in the table and see if that 6 is right. And it was. Okay, so there's my exact answer. I'm gonna use that, of course, for my synthetic division. I'm gonna do my second trace, number 2, because we do need to find those other 2 zeros. Now, I don't even see my cursor here. Look at the bottom. It's at -44. So I'm right arrowing. Oh, there he is. To get him on the screen. Let's get him up there a little. That's a little too close. I'm gonna hit enter. I'm gonna cursor him above the x-axis. And nobody wants to guess. So 0.764, we'll jot that one down in a second. And then I just repeat the process for the second one. Second trace, number 2, right arrow him over there. He's off the screen. I'm watching Y. Y is at 10, a little over 10. All right, there he is. All right, a little closer. I'm gonna hit enter. I'm gonna put him below the x-axis. Nobody wants to guess. So about 5.26. So let's jot those down. So for our zeros, we've got, the exact one, 0.764 we had, and 5.236. So we did that, use the zero root feature of the calculator, we got the decimal answers of the function, determine an exact one, clearly the 6, and use synthetic division. So let's go ahead and do that here. So again, we should have a 0 remainder. Make sure you have all the terms, they're in order. Same spiel. So 6 times 1, 6 times 6, or sorry, 6 times 1, that's a lot, I'm getting ahead of myself here. 6 times 6, okay, add those together. 6 times -6, and 6 times 4. Looking good. Let's recover this. We have x squared minus 6x plus 4. Okay, so choices now to get the other 2 exact answers out of this. You could use quadratic formula or completing the square. Scroll this up a little bit. This is probably a good one to complete the square on. Let's review that. I'm going to move the 4 to the other side. Half of 6, 3. 3 squared, 9. We're going to balance, put that on the other side. So this now factors into x minus 3, x minus 3. I'm going to put it squared, and -4 plus 9. Let's get rid of the squaring. Let's remember our plus and minus. And I'm going to add 3. So there are my other 2 answers, and I'm just going to list 6 here and circle that. So there are my 3 exact answers. And hopefully if you wrote small, you still have some room left, because it also wants the complete factorization. Okay, so let's use the 6 first. That's a nice easy factor. Now, to get the 3 plus or minus root 5, same deal, we're going to change the sign on 3. Now, you could combo this. It's up to you if you want to do 3 minus square root of 5, or if you want to do x minus 3 plus root 5, if you have room to write them all out, or of course, this is probably how I would have written it just to save myself some room, we could just make it plus or minus. Just recognize if you use the plus or minus, you technically have 2 factors in there. All right, let's circle this. And we did it all. So just read your directions close, whether it wants factors, zeros, or like this one, it wants both of them, of course. Always my advice, check the graph first. You might get lucky like that previous problem with the 2/3. I could have done this one with no work and just gotten it off the calculator. Of course, that doesn't happen too often. Pick a nice number and do your synthetic division. All right, have a great day.